Welcome to the Connected Spirit Podcast, a space where the mystical and the human experience merge, where we explore what it really means to walk a spirit-led path. I'm Courtney Dawson, an ethical medium and mentor, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt the presence of the spirit world. But my journey hasn't been simple. It's been one of self-discovery, healing from religious and emotional trauma, navigating fear, judgment, and the loneliness that comes with embracing something the world doesn't always understand. This podcast is here to take what was once considered woo and bring it into the real lived experience of being human. Because mediumship isn't just something we do, it's who we are. Here we dive into the conversations no one else is having, breaking down misconceptions, exploring the unseen, and normalizing the journey of deep connection. We'll talk about the beauty and the struggle of being a medium. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, we'll go deep. And most importantly, we'll remember who we are, why we're here, and how spirit moves through us all. So if you've ever felt something more, if you've ever questioned the unseen, or if you're simply ready to embrace the fullness of your spiritual path, you're in the right place. Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode of the Connected Spirit Podcast is one that I'm so excited to bring to you because not only am I a medium and a podcast host, but I am a mediumship teacher, and I get the privilege of teaching so many incredible humans, so many incredible aspiring mediums, literally from across the globe within the Connected Spirit School. And each of them I learn from. And today's guest on the show is one that I've learned so much from and have been inspired greatly from. And today I want to celebrate Heather Bierner. How are you, my love?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you here. You have been in the Mediumship Mastery Circle for about 6 months. And we were talking before we started recording, pardon me, that there was a little bit of the time where you're like, I'm not sure if this is going to work for you. But it really, really has turned out to be so incredible. And so I'd love to share with our audience so much about what your journey's been like in the circle. But before we delve into that, I'm wondering if you can tell the listeners a little bit of your backstory, like who you are, where you're from, what your spiritual journey's been like, and how did you find yourself in the Mediumship Mastery Circle?
Sure, no problem. I was raised Christian, and I, had that firm Christian background, and I it never quite resonated with me though. There was always something that was off about some of the teachings, but I stuck with it, and I did all my duties and all the things I was supposed to do and fit in the box. And then one day the box didn't fit anymore, and I um, I just started to explore the world outside of what I knew. Whenever I was first pregnant, I started doing yoga classes, and I was sort of doing like a cookie cutter style yoga class. So it was just basically like a workout. And then we were in Durango, and I went to Yoga Durango, and I experienced a different style of yoga. And they did chanting, and they just did things. I was like, what is this? And I was like, I need to know more. And then they had a gong sound bath at the same place. So I was like, okay, I'm skeptical, but now I need more. So I went and I participated in this, and after the gong sound bath, I was so energized. I had a tangible experience that I could feel in my body. So it just opened me up to everything else. What else is there? What else can I learn? And I had a meeting with a psychic medium, and she just gave me some guidance. And I had been considering going to India to study yoga because now that can of worms was opened. And she was like, yes, go, you need to go. So I went, and it was amazing. It was transformative, continued to open me up. And just fast forward. So I'm like exploring spirituality and all of these things, and just eating up all the information I could get my hands on, right? Whenever you're having that spiritual awakening, you want to know everything, right? So you research as much as you can. And I felt pulled to psychic abilities. I've had like prophetic dreams in the past.
Yep.
And I've always had like a knowing, like I knew things, but couldn't explain it. So that was the beginning. And then I'm trying to think. I came back from India. Oh, and I went to a spiritual, a psychic boot camp
Yeah.
in San Diego with Laurel and Jackson. And it was amazing. So I found out I was good at psychometry and I was like really interested in remote viewing. And it just opened up from there. I was like trying to do all of these different things. And then in the fall, I discovered that I could do psychic mediumship because my father-in-law had passed away a year ago in April. And but last fall, my husband wanted to wear his ring and he wanted me to clear the energy first. So I was going to stage it, but it was like, before I do that, can I read it? Is that okay with you? Because I wanted to do psychometry with it. And then he just whooshed in, like he was like right here, so close and like chatty, had things to say. And I was amazed and had to have more, had to learn more, right? And I feel like too, like we're not all born like with the knowledge of how to do this. So
Yeah.
I was seeking out guidance and I found your class.
That's incredible. That is a really beautiful story. And for our listeners, I didn't know that you went to India. That's pretty transformative. And that's a big leap and a testament that you were really listening to your soul's calling, Heather. Because to get on a plane and fly there and to be there so immersed in the energy, that's not something you do on a whim. That is something that you just know you're meant to do, just like when we start moving into our mediumship development. And there's something you said, we're not all born with that awareness or the knowing, right? And I think that's true. I think we all have the ability to connect with spirit at varying levels, varying degrees, because we're a soul having a human experience. So my philosophy is that innately we already know, but yet it's our mind that needs the training. And you go on this journey of self-discovery. And when the timing's right, spirit comes in, just like your father-in-law did. That's so amazing. I love that. Now,
Yeah, it was so cool.
before we go further, what did your husband say about your father-in-law coming in? Did you give him a message?
I did. It made us both really emotional. It was a big moment. So before I had connected with my father-in-law, I was able to connect with animals, and that was sort of a new thing too. So it was similar, and it wasn't like super shocking to my husband, but he was really happy to hear from his dad and grateful for the message. And we were both in tears by the end of it.
That's the
Yep.
power of mediumship. It's so healing. So healing, even for those of us that give the messages. So you found yourself at the Connected Spirit School. You came in to the circle. What was the first couple of classes like for you? You were like, okay, so you had trained with Laurel and Jackson. Most of us who are, in the spiritual community know of that incredible medium. She's
Yes.
amazing. And then you come into my space and you're like, what's this place all about?
Yes. So it was interesting. And you're also like, I'm like trying to sit back and remember 6 months ago. Um, it was it was different than what I was used to. And that was the challenging part for me, right? Because the way that I had sort of taught myself to do the thing that was coming to me was like for the animal communication and as I had grown into doing more mediumship, I like to have the name and I like to have a photo of the person and then I would connect. And I do understand now that that was maybe partially mediumship or maybe partially psychic connection,
Mhm.
but I did feel spirit coming through. So what you were asking me to do was challenging my way of thinking, which was a good thing. And I battled with that a little bit, but the support and the connection in the circle was beautiful and you could feel it. It was tangible. So I was happy to be there.
Now, for everyone who's listening and like, what the heck was Courtney asking her to do? I simply was just asking her to not use any tools, no pen, no paper, and just let herself be the tool, be the instrument. And you did struggle with it for the first couple of weeks. And honestly, I thought you were going to drop out of the circle because you were like, but the way I work works, right? And I'm like, just entertain me, okay, for like a couple of weeks, just give it a go. And now, Heather, you connect consistently, clearly. You're bringing through beautiful evidence. How has that change the way you work with the world of spirit. Now, not to say maybe you still use tools when you're doing practice readings, etc., but how has it been for you to really understand I am the tool, I'm the instrument, and I can do this quickly, clearly, and I can bring through this type of evidence that perhaps maybe you weren't bringing through before.
Yeah, it's easier, it's more natural, I think, is one way to
Mm,
describe it. And that's not saying that there's anything wrong with doing it another way, but the
yeah.
way that you showed me to do it, feels it's just easier, right? Like you relax into it and you trust, and then it just all comes as it wants to come, right? Spirit communicates as they want to communicate, and it's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Of course, I love it. I think mediumship honestly should be easy. It's us as the humans that need that development and that training, and that takes a little bit of time because we get used to working a certain way, or, it's hard for us to trust. How do we trust in something we can't always see or feel, right? How do we surrender to that power in the presence? And it's really with consistency and showing up and doing the work that it comes and you go, oh my goodness, you can't turn back. What's it
Yeah.
like being in the circle with other mediums who are at varying levels of experience? Everyone's quite different in the group, and being able to come together and work within that space to bring through spirit communication. What's that experience been like for you?
I love it. I love it because we're kind of sisters, right? Like we've gotten to know each other and we support each other, we lift each other up, we remind each other to relax, to trust, you're safe, all of the things, right? And um, some of us have gotten really close outside of the circle. We are friends, and
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing. All of them, everybody in the circle is a beautiful soul on this path, learning to trust, and we can all relate to each other and lift each other up.
And what's beautiful about the circle that you're in, there's no competition. There's no comparing. There's so much celebration. And I think that's what's really, really beautiful about this sacredness of the circle is that we honor each of you mediums that are in the circle, really honor where each person is at. Maybe someone's having an emotional day and they're struggling a bit. Maybe someone's coming in, they're high on life and it's great and they're just slaying their readings. Like wherever each medium finds himself that day, they're really held by the spirit, held by the other mediums in the circle. And how has that been for you, being in that space, knowing if you're having a day, if you get something wrong, that you're supported and held every single step of the way in your development?
Yeah, it's lovely because, we are human
Yeah.
and we don't have to be perfect. We're enough as we are. And you can feel that in the circle. Somebody comes in and they have had a rough day. They're having something with their health, whatever's going on in their life. And, we just send each other love.
I love it. It's beautiful. When you started the circle to now, if you look back, is there a moment where you're like, holy smokes, I actually can do this? Or I never thought I could bring through that type of communicator or that type of evidence?
Um, I think there were several.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one was actually with you. Um, I think we were doing like round robin or something, and um, your spirit, he was your friend, was telling me ducks, and I was like,
Yes.
okay, okay, I'll tell her ducks, but this sounds crazy. So I did, and it was valid, and that's beautiful.
Well, that was a wild one. So we were doing the round robin. And my friend from the spirit came in to support us, which I was shocked because I didn't know he was going to come through. And Heather goes, okay, duck or something about ducks. I knew exactly what she was talking about, and I couldn't give validation until the very end. And so, what the ducks were or about was there's an area really close to my house, and we have a lagoon where there's a bunch of ducks, like dozens, maybe a couple hundred ducks. And I was walking this was like a couple days before my surgery. I was walking and with my dog, and there was a little baby duck. This thing was just a baby duck crossing a main road. And I ended up having a couple neighbors help me, and we captured this duck, and I walked him back to the duck pond. Otherwise, he would have got hit by a car, right? And my dog and I put him back in the water where all the baby ducks hang out, and we were good. I actually recorded that on video, and for whatever reason, I was going to post it on my Instagram stories. I never did. And it was saved to my phone. So I airdropped it to my computer and showed the students. I don't think the audio was working well, but there's this baby duck. And what's so interesting, and I think I forgot to tell you this, Heather, is that that duck pond, I've had so many countless, I can't even tell you, countless encounters with the spirit world. It is very sacred. It's flooded with spirit there. And the
Oh, it
friend,
gives me goosebumps.
yeah, and the friend who came through, he's been there tons of times with me.
Oh,
So that was so amazing. Like you would think, ducks, that doesn't mean anything. Actually, it was massively significant and massively evidential. So like this is the kind of stuff you're doing. Like you can't even make that stuff up.
yes.
And what's also cool is that we know it was mediumistic. It wasn't psychic because I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest with you. So you weren't reading my mind.
No, no, he was right here, and he and I were kind of arguing with each other, which is strange because he was telling me ducks, and I was like, okay, what about ducks? And didn't want to tell me. He didn't want to give me any details, and he was like, just tell her ducks, and I was like, okay, fine,
And that's totally his personality to boot. Yeah,
nice.
right? Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. I was just like, holy smokes, Heather, you are just totally trusting the spirit. Like you've grown leaps and bounds, and it's just absolutely amazing. For the listeners that are here with us today, that are going to be listening to this episode, hearing your story, your progress, and they're like, I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if I would be able to do the circle. Would I be a good fit? What would you say to him or her listening?
Just do it. There's
Mm,
no downside. All there is growth. There's nothing to lose. There's everything to gain. Go for it.
absolutely. From your time, the last 6 months in the Mastery Circle, what would you say you've taken away from our time together?
Um, I have confidence in my ability to connect with spirit. I have trust in spirit. I've gotten to know my spirit guides more intimately, um, and I just have the confidence and trust to do it, to relax, to trust, and go forth.
And those are the big words, trust. That's not easy and it takes time to develop. And that's not something you're going to get in a weekend workshop. It's showing up consistently with a group of people that are able to support you and really hold you. Because let's be honest, doing this work, you feel really vulnerable. You do. And so to be able to be in that place where you're held while you're working through whatever that may be, spiritually, personally, to get to that place where you totally trust yourself, trust your abilities, and trust the spirit like you said earlier in our conversation, transformative, sometimes I feel like that word is lacking in what it actually means for us individually. So I just want to say I am so proud of you because I know that it takes a lot of dedication and hard work and consistency and trust to be able to come into a space like this, let yourself really open up, and then bring through that type of growth in really such a short period of time. It doesn't happen without effort. And I just want to say, I'm so proud of you. You've really done amazing.
Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and for sharing your experience within the Mediumship Mastery Circle with our listeners. The Connected Spirit isn't just a podcast, it's a remembering of who we are, a remembering of our connection to spirit, and a remembering that we are never walking this path alone. Mediumship isn't just about speaking with spirits, it's about deepening the connection to our own spirit, to one another, and to the energy that moves through everything. So as you leave this space, ask yourself, what part of this conversation stirred something within you? What connection is spirit inviting you to strengthen? If this episode spoke to you, please share it, leave a review, and connect with me on Instagram at Medium Courtney Dawson or visit my website at mediumcourtneydawson.com. Your presence in this community matters because connection isn't just about what we seek. It's what we are. Until next time, trust your spirit, trust the unseen world, and trust that you are always, always connected.